Hey, what's up guys, it's ElasticSpyder here, and in today's video we are looking at some Yamato gameplay. Now, on the channel recently we've featured a lot of Montana, and I think it's time to change it up a bit with some Yamato gameplay. Now, this is not me playing the Yamato, this is actually a community replay. If you'd like to send a community replay in, send it to BIAworldofwarships@gmail.com. Please include your replay, your screenshots as well, and a short description of what occurred in the battle. Now, in this particular replay, we are looking at StatikTheWarmongerer, and he is in ZR, and he is playing the Yamato. And interestingly enough, he is also using Yamamoto as well as the Yamato legendary mod. So this legendary mod is actually quite insane. When you think about it, all the legendary mods, in my opinion, are pretty insane. Some are better than the others, that's without a doubt. But just the simple fact that you can get to tier 10 and get these pretty much base enhancements of your ships is quite impressive, especially seeing how big of a difference some of the tier 9 to tier 10 ships, how big of a difference that is. And things like even the Yamato and the Zumo, just having this much better dispersion, much better armor, much better survivability, and I guess even like AA, if you want to say stuff like that. It's just incredible. And then you slap something like a legendary mod on the Yamato, and it enhances that that difference even more. So, well, if you might not know, the Yamato's legendary mod, I've got it pulled up here on the side, and I'll put a little image on the screen so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. But the Yamato gets a -6% main battery loading time, which is just, again, patently insane. So we can get down to 27 kilometers without taking any like damage for AR and whatnot. So you get a -6% main battery loading time, which is good. You get -7% to maximum dispersion of main battery shells, and with the Yamato being pretty much the most accurate battleship in the game, among its dispersion values as well as its great sigma, this is just, again, patently insane, giving more accuracy to this. Well, maybe after this replay, overpowered ship. But I guess that's that's part of the reason why I'm not the biggest fan of these legendary mods. It takes a very good player like Static and just multiplies it by a few factors. The only downside to this legendary mod is the fact that it has it reduces the main turret traverse speed by 19%. 19% is a bit odd, but I guess they decided that that would be just enough for you to impact or what have you, enough that maybe you would decide otherwise from using this modification. So with that being said, other than that, it's a pretty good modification. I do think that it is very strong, and you are gonna have to grind a lot for it, but at the end of the day, just gaining a flat 6%, and 6% doesn't seem like a lot when you think about it in terms of percentages, but when you start getting down to the nitty-gritty little details of the ship, it is actually quite good. One citadel there on the Worcester, excuse me. A very nice shot there. A bit passive in the beginning stages of the game. I think at this point, both teams are a little timid and passive. Here at the start. It's not a heavy DD game. It's a lot of battleships and a good amount of cruisers as well. And I guess that's particularly why. Of course, being a battleship, well, we're going to sit in the back a little bit. But that's fine. That's completely okay. And here's the thing with the Yamato, even though people might see that minus 19% to uh, traverse speed, so it actually makes it worse. I don't think it's that even that big of a deal, honestly. Um, if you really want to, you can. I forgot what the actual modification is called, but there's a modification that I believe it's instead of the accuracy mod for the Yamato, you can have the loading time of your shells be increased, but you get a significant amount of traverse speed. Now that kind of mitigates the point of the legendary mod, but if you think that you could see some benefit from both of those combined, then by all means do it. But the Yamato, in my opinion, the Yamato's gameplay is already quite stationary. You sit a little bit farther back because you have really accurate guns, but you also sit a little bit farther back because you aren't, I want to say, very mobile, and it's kind of a little oxymoronic. I was saying that the Yamato's not very mobile when it is actually quite mobile compared to things like the Montana, the Kurfürst, and I don't know about the Republic, but I'm sure that it does have some similar, maybe even better maneuverability characteristics. But I think at the end of the day, when you're kind of basically just sitting on one side and aiming at like another ship, it doesn't require this very fast turret traverse. And that's kind of why this legendary mod, in my opinion, is actually really, really good. Is because, in my opinion, it suits the gameplay of the Yamato. The Yamato is basically just kind of sit a little bit farther back, play a little bit more stationary, not so stationary that you basically are, not valuable to your team, but just putting yourself in positions where, well, you can just easily take out enemy ships, and even like this Worcester that's pushing in, and well, great overmatch mechanics there. But at the end of the day, I think it actually suits the Yamato's gameplay quite well. And then on top of this, again you add the fact that we have Yamamoto in here, and well, my God, it's pretty insane. And even this far, I would say this is like a decent game so far. 100k, not the worst, not the best I've ever seen, but we're still at full health, and the game is still quite early on. Even though 8 minutes has elapsed, the game has been going on quite slowly, and this actually really suits Yamato's gameplay. As I was saying earlier, the Yamato is more of a kind of you just want to stay somewhere, and you want to apply pressure slowly. That's probably the Yamato's strength. And being able to punish opponents when they, turn broadside, or even when they don't turn broadside, just basically sitting like this enemy Yamato, where you can just shoot right at his front two guns. Because of that, like octagonal citadel at the front, you do have that capability, and we saw that there with by Static exposing that on this enemy Yamato, who isn't perfectly angled, but at the end of the day, it didn't even matter. And we're gonna try and shoot it for it here. Let's see if we can't hit it again. We don't hit it, but 2 pens does the job just the same. So now we have pretty much full control over C. B, we're getting capped by the St. Louis, who's just going pretty much full speed, and looks like he's gonna get torqued by that Hyson Yang. So unfortunately, I think we are going to be down on ships. Well, we already are, but even more down on ships now. So Static is going to have to kind of help carry his team a little bit, and we'll see how that turns out for him. So let's see what else we can talk about. So far, I would say the positioning of Static has been pretty good overall. You know, obviously, being in the middle at the start of the game is good because you have large range to shoot at. But of course, if you're pointed more towards one side, you can get better cross shots at pardon me, at an enemy on the other side of the map. So, for example, if you were at C, you would have better cross shots and be maybe more likely to hit a citadel when you're at C on someone that's at A, rather than if you're at B and then you're shooting at someone that's at A or C. You know, so that's one of the reasons why maybe potentially the middle wouldn't be so good in terms of positioning, but Statik has made it work. He did push up quite aggressively, TM, and I guess he pushed up quite aggressively in the early stages, and that is, well, it turned out good for him. I don't know where I'm going with this, but yeah, we're going to be pushing down the enemies, basically their enemy spawn. Probably going to try and kill this Hindenburg, or this Richelieu, and this is actually creating a good crossfire. I was thinking, if I was in Statik's position, why didn't I go through B and staying on my side? And I just don't think Statik was thinking that. He's like, how can I get a better angle on these guys at B and even A? I've got a Yamato pushing pretty much straight to B. Why not create a little bit more of a crossfire? And I think that's what he's doing. And look at this dispersion on this Moskva. Oh my gosh, is it going to be a dev strike? We'll have to wait and see. Only one citadel. We do pick up a Confederate there, which is quite nice. Aimed I think a little too high and a little too far in front. I don't know if that Moskva changed speed, but it was still a good shot nonetheless, taking nearly 27k off basically a battleship is always very, very nice. So we're going to try and take out that Kronstadt, who is on just enough HP to still be a valuable target. And he sped up enough and turned out just enough such that our shells couldn't connect. And oddly enough, that Massachusetts, you can see that semi-octagonal citadel is not paying off for Statik there. That Massachusetts cut one shell, hit the citadel, and then another one hit the citadel as well, and got a pen. Unfortunately for that Massachusetts, Statik knows where his citadel is, and he's going to counter that and kill him. So let's see how this turns out. So now it's become a 5v4, which is actually quite interesting. We've gotten a couple kills on our side, and they've happened in somewhat quick succession. And let's see on this Montana, oof, 38k. Little bit, had we gotten maybe 2 more pens, this guy would have been dead, but it doesn't matter. Our Shimakaze ends up taking the kill with his torpedoes. So very nice play there by Statik, knowing where to aim and also picking up that high caliber. So here, I think what Statik is trying to do is he's trying to. He can see that the Kronstadt is still there, and I think he's just waiting for him to get spotted either by his aircraft or some other means. And then there you can see Statik being able to shoot over that island a little bit easier with the spotter plane, and that's kind of why you use the spotter plane, not because you get the 32-kilometer range, but because you can shoot over islands much, much easier. What is this Zhao thinking? What do you think you're doing, Zhao? Don't you know Battleship Yamato always has the right of way? I guess not. So besides this little weeaboo action here, we're going to be shooting at the sea at Moskva. And again, spotter plane is helping us to do that. It makes it a hell of a lot easier to aim. And let's see how our shells turn out. 2 citadels for 37k. Very, very nice salvo there. And again, had he not had the spotter plane, it might have turned out much, much different. The Moskva might have not even eaten a citadel. But he's still sailing broadside, and with this legendary mod and Adrenaline Rush and Yamamoto. We're going to get another shot off relatively quickly, and we end up getting the kill for another 14k, and we're already at 296k. Doesn't feel like we've... I don't know, it just feels so interesting. Like, 9 citadels is quite a lot, but at the same time, we've hit 67 shells, and, you know, with that, it just, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like a 300k game, but I can certainly know it is. And again, spotter plane at the end of the day, it's helping us out here again. Yamato gets, looks like maybe a citadel or a couple pens. Static shells coming in, and he gets a citadel with his Kraken Unleashed, and then shoots off some fireworks. So with only the Zal left, and Static is well over 308k, well over 300k. Now it's time to farm a Zal, who, from what I remember, was on a good amount of health. So we'll see if Static can actually start farming him, and see if he can get any higher damage. And it looks like the Zal will actually either get spotted or open up. Looks like he probably got spotted. And let's see how much damage Static can farm. 28,000. Is it going to be a dev strike? It's looking like a pretty good one, and it will be to finish off the replay. Alright guys, so looking at the post-battle results, what a game there at the end. Get a little bit of an exciting game there at the end with that dev strike, but we managed nearly 337,000 damage in our Yamato, 6 kills, 12 citadels, 1 assisted base capture, got Confederate, devastating strike, Kraken, and high caliber. Well, a lot of creds and a lot of XP as well. And moving on to the team score, 3662 for our team score. Our base XP is well over, pretty much double the next person on our team, and well, almost pretty much three times what the enemy the enemy Montana got. So very nice game to Static here, and this kind of just goes to show the power of the legendary mods, at least in my opinion. I know Static is a very good player, and I've seen many of his results in his Yamato before the legendary mod, you know, get up there well over 250. I've seen several over 250, and I've even seen other players well over 250 as well. But I think the legendary mod does help you quite a bit when you think about it, with that 6% extra reload and then 7% dispersion, which I do think is quite underrated. It does help the Yamato quite a bit. Then detailed report, well, you can see the damage there. Secondary build on the Yamato is pretty much dead, and well, it's all about those main battery guns, baby. We didn't take too much damage, and I don't think it was necessary. Again, talking a little bit earlier, the playstyle of the Yamato is sitting a little bit farther back, and, you know, expending your hit points when you need to, not, you know, using them mindlessly. So, without further ado, guys, I hope you enjoyed this replay, and if you did, leave a like, leave a comment, and especially comment what you guys think about the legendary mods, because I am kind of interested what you guys think. So, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys later.